I want to ask about Republicans tonight after the week we've had, because, you know, for many years I've tried not to make them mad when they say, look, we all want to solve problems, we just have different policy methods, and it stops me from saying, wait, it just sounds like you don't have as much compassion as we do. And then this week comes along, and, you know, Donald Trump said today, we can't be swayed by phony stories of sadness and grief. And he uses kidnapping kids as a negotiating strategy. And the Homeland Security person, after this week, during this week, goes to a Mexican restaurant for dinner. Corey Lewandowski is hearing about one of the saddest cases of one of these kids on the border and goes, wah, wah. And Melania with her jacket, I don't know what that was all about. But it doesn't add up to make me think, oh, right, we just have policy differences. It does make me think you don't have as much empathy as we do. So there, I said it.
Well, this is how Trump won the nomination. He was awful in various ways that shocked the other people up on those stages and debates with him in the primary, you know, saying that, you know, he likes war heroes who don't get captured,
right.
Effectively calling Ted Cruz's wife ugly, doing a wide variety of these things that were just like...
That play well.
Yeah, well enough with a large enough fraction of the Republican base. And, you know, you look at this child separation policy and it polls terribly, and it polls only okay with Republicans. I mean, you said 55%, but 55% is low for a policy that a Republican president is doing among Republican voters.
Correct.
So a substantial chunk of the Republican Party did not want this sort of cruelty, but a lot of them did, which is how he won the nomination. And then a lot more of them decided, you know, well, I will put up with that if the alternative is Hillary Clinton. And he's decided that this is what shows toughness. He talks about how important it is to be tough. And I think voters have, like, sort of a wide variety of conflicting ideas about immigration. They want toughness. They want enforcement. They also want empathy. And sometimes those ideas come into conflict, and I think Donald Trump appeals to one side of that. I think he's gone much too far this week and has put off a lot of people who, even things like the Muslim ban, polled a lot better with a lot of people.
I mean, we can have a policy debate, but what's really happening in America right now, I mean, as we speak, is children do not know where their parents are.
Right.
As they're going to bed tonight at the hands of the government, deciding our government has perpetrated a policy that is basically designed to terrorize these children and their parents. They do that in all of our names. I think Donald Trump had a strategy to take those kids hostage, to get his wall, or to do other things about immigration policy, but the country has risen up in utter disgust. Parents around this country are opposed, and that's why he's done these belly flaps or whatever it is on Wednesday. He's stopping the policy. Today, he's attacking Democrats and immigrants.
But where will it be in November? Where will it be?
I think the issue that needs to be said, and I would never defend the breakup of these families the way that it's taking place, but we do have a problem at the border, and it was not of his creation. We've got a problem with porous borders that caused 20,000 apprehensions to jump to 50,000 just within the past year. And I think it's important that people not allow their hostility, their antipathy toward the president and the ProPublica sounds of those crying kids to mask the problem that we really have. What drives, though, Bill, I want to say this, what drives the lack of empathy that you're referring to is demographics. I think it's concern in certain quarters about their diminishing role in our society. The truth is that American kids, the youngest kids today, don't look like American elders. And by 2045, whites will comprise less than 50% of the population. And I think a lot of the bad behavior that you're referring to is preying on people's anxiety about those numbers.
Yeah, but I just say it's absolutely the case. It's absolutely the case that Donald Trump has sown racial fears. He attacks different groups. The fact that he used infestation to describe immigrants, that's, you know, essentially what authoritarian dictators have done about other minority groups. I hear that. I just think, look, a vast majority of Americans oppose this policy because children should not suffer by the hands of the U.S. government.
But can I get at the